Hello, this is Kevin, and I tried to record this video once before, but it was very long, so I will try to go make this shorter this time. And if you need to, you can slow me down on YouTube. You can watch me at a slower pace, um, or watch me two times, three times. But anyway, let's get going. So we're studying this week, listening to the past. Okay, and just because many people know the form of the past doesn't mean that you can always hear this when people are talking fast. Okay, so that's what we are studying today. And we will study three things in this presentation. We will study was and negative of be verb, was, wasn't, were, weren't. We will study did, how the sound did changes. And then we will study the ed sound at the end of a verb. Okay, those three things. So first, was and were is be verb in the past. And this sounds like was. This is were. Was, were. When we make it negative, was becomes was not. But most of the time, speakers don't say, I was not at home. They use the short form, I wasn't at home. And this sometimes it's very hard to hear these sounds. Nt, because speakers will we say reduce them or make them shorter, or sometimes completely delete these sounds. So here I'll say these a couple times fast. There's like usually three ways we can hear this sound: wasn't, 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 wasn't. I wasn't at home. I wasn't at home. This one we delete T sound. So I wasn't at home. I wasn't. I wasn't at home. I wasn't at home. I wasn't at home. And then this one, this symbol, you don't need to remember, but this symbol is another way to make T sound in English, not here. Usually T is here, behind your teeth. This T is here. It's like on my shirt. This is a button. Speakers say this is a button, button, not a button. Usually speakers say button. That's this sound. So I wasn't, I wasn't, I wasn't, I wasn't at home. I wasn't at home. I wasn't at home. She wasn't at home. Okay. Next is were. In the same way, the sound is were, and then weren't. We weren't at home. We weren't at home. We weren't at home. We weren't at home. Or we weren't, we weren't, we weren't at home. We weren't at home. Weren't, we weren't at home. Okay, we weren't at home. Okay, so let's look at a couple examples. I will read very fast, and then please listen and compare. Okay. A, I was at home. I was at home. I wasn't at home. I wasn't at home. I was at home. I wasn't at home. B, oh, maybe let me turn on my little pointer. B, I was watching the game. I was watching the game. I was watching the game. I wasn't watching the game. I wasn't watching the game. I wasn't watching the game. I was watching the game. I wasn't watching the game. C, we were bored. We were bored. We weren't bored. We weren't bored. We weren't bored. We were bored. We weren't bored. D, they were happy. They were happy. They were happy. They were happy. They weren't happy. They weren't happy. They weren't happy. They weren't happy. They were happy. They weren't happy. Okay, that's enough. Next is did. Okay. Now we're looking at did. And did changes, we usually keep this first d sound, but we sometimes change, we usually drop or maybe change the second d sound. So did you sounds like did ya, or did ya, or sometimes just did ya. So did you do it? Did you do it? Did you forget? 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 Did I sounds like did die, or sometimes just die. Did I do it? 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 Okay. Did he sounds like diddy, or D. Sometimes just D. Did he do it? Did he do it? Did he forget? Did he forget? Did he forget? Or did he forget? Did he forget? Did he do it? Did she sounds like did she? No D sound here. So did she do it? Did she do it? Did she forget? Did she do it? Okay. I did we sounds like did we? Delete this D sound. Did we do it? Did we forget? Did we get lost? And J, example J, did they sounds like did they? Did they do it? Did they forget? Okay. All right. And the last thing we will study is pronunciation of the ed sound. The spelling is always ed, but there's three different pronunciations: sound, sound, and ud sound. Okay. T sound happens after voiceless sounds. What are voiceless sounds? Those are k, p, sh, or excuse me, k, p, s, ch, sh. These sounds. Okay. So here's some examples like talk. The last sound in the verb talk is k sound. So talk, talk. So ed sounds like t, talked, talked, talked. I talked to her. P, same thing. Stopped, hissed, watched, washed. Okay, D or D sound. This happens after voiced sounds. What are voiced sounds? These are sounds like o, n, v, b, and all the vowel sounds like a, all those. We have 14 vowels in English, all the vowel sounds in English. And here's some examples. So, call is O sound. So, called, called, rained, lived, robbed, stayed. Called, rained, lived, robbed, stayed. I stayed at home. Okay. And the last one is ud. We add a sound, ud. This happens after t sound and d sound. So wait becomes weighted, weighted. Need becomes needed, weighted, needed. So maybe you can hear, but these t, t, and d sound, these don't add a syllable. So this is stay is one syllable. Stay, stay, stayed, stayed, stayed. Still one syllable. But these ones, wait, waited, wait, wait, waited, waited, needed, needed. This becomes two syllables. This one adds a syllable. Okay, so that's it for this presentation. You have several activities practicing listening for these sounds. So please try those and let me know if you have any questions. I hope this practice will be useful for improving your listening skills. Okay, thanks and see you later.